Today, as we acknowledge World AIDS Day and we follow the developments in Egypt, where day 4 of parliamentary elections are underway, we can't think of a more fitting title for our closing session than Reimagine. Today, we'll explore how women and girls are imagining a better life and imagining a better world and making their vision a reality and shaping a brighter future for us all. I had a very distinctive moment when I reimagined my own purpose a couple of years ago. I've spent the last 20 years of my life working as a journalist, and I've been fortunate enough to have covered stories all over the world, some of which have scarred me. Stories about gang rape in the Congo. A number of people today have shared stories about the atrocities taking place in the Congo, where women are raped by groups of armed men in the middle of the night, sometimes in front of their families, sometimes forcing their families and children to engage in the rape. I've experienced stories of child soldiers in Afghanistan and Uganda where young boys as young as 10 years old were armed to a teeth carrying things like bazookas and RPGs. I've experienced stories about children all over the world being trafficked for sex, and it happens in every country around the world, in every state in this country. And I'll confess to you, on so many occasions, I've said to myself, if there's a God, how can he allow this to happen? This is something that I've struggled with my whole career, this struggle with faith. I've said, if there's a God, how can he allow so many women to be raped in the Congo and no one cares? If there's a God, how can he allow so many of these young boys to be armed to a teeth and waiting day after day after day to fire those weapons? If there's a God, how can he allow children from every single country on earth to be trafficked for sex? And a couple of years ago, I married a man of fairly strong faith, and he sent the following poem to me called Why, and it goes like this. On the street, I saw a little girl, cold and shivering, in a thin dress with little hope of a decent meal. I became angry, and I said to God, how can you do this? Why don't you do something about it? For a while, God didn't reply. He sat there, and all of a sudden, quite suddenly, in fact, he replied and said, I certainly did do something about it. I made you. I made all of you. I made all of you who are watching in so many countries around the world. And that's when I reimagined my purpose.